another episode of The News. I am your host, Maggie Smith. Now, up later, we have our guest, Agent Dawn Gray from Gray Talent Group joining us tonight. What? But first, let's take a look at some headlines from this week. The publisher of the Choose Your Own Adventure books is suing Netflix over its Black Mirror movie, Bandersnatch, to which Books Everywhere said, wait, we can sue Netflix? Frozen food company Perdue just announced that they're recalling 68,000 pounds of chicken nuggets due to contamination, which is information I would have liked to know 67,000 pounds of chicken nuggets ago. Police in California are searching for a man caught on video licking someone's doorbell, which honestly is still not as scary as him just showing up without texting first. A recent study found that 1/3 of all women believe that they started having sex too early. That same poll also discovered that 2/3 of men finished having sex too early. Spacex, the private aerospace company owned by Elon Musk, is set to lay off 10% of its workforce. They will be given severance pay and then shot straight into space. According to a recent study, people over the age of 65 share the most fake news. What's worse, the news is, my grandchildren are visiting today. Scientists have discovered that smoking effectively makes your body biologically twice your age, which is why humans shouldn't smoke and why dogs really shouldn't smoke. A woman in China has been diagnosed with a rare hearing loss condition that has left her unable to hear male voices. The question on everyone's mind is it contagious? Super contagious? Where can I find her? According to a report in Time magazine, Congresswoman Rashida Tlaib saying a swear word received 5 times more coverage than Congressman Steve King's remark defending white supremacists. To which I say, fuck that. The Chicago mayoral election is coming up on February 26th, so here with her take on our local politics is our newest correspondent and a woman who is just now becoming a feminist, Colette Gregory. Colette, everybody. Thank you so much, Colette.
Thank you so much, Maggie. As someone who did not realize that America hated women until the 2016 election, it is an honor to work with such a hardened feminist like yourself. I mean, like, you are so brave to go in front of all these cameras with absolutely no makeup on. Is your face always that pale, or is that a winter thing?
It's both. So, Colette, you're here with a feminist take on the upcoming Chicago mayoral election, yes?
Yes, yes. On the surface, the Chicago mayoral election looks like its usual bag of Ds. We've got a Daley, Bill Daley, a dirty cop, Gary McCarthy, and some dudes. But, like the recent midterm elections, the Chicago mayoral race also has a more diverse and feminine side. And because, as we learned from the classic white feminist film, The Help, there's nothing that appeases white guilt more than scrappy women of color cleaning up white people's messes.
Yeah, we should talk sometime about how problematic that movie is.
Oh my God, thank you, Maggie. You is smart. You is kind.
I don't like this. I don't like that.
You is welcome.
No.
First up is Amara Inya, a political analyst with a master's, a JD, and a doctorate. Amara is endorsed by Chance the Rapper, the one Chicago rapper we do like. And now, does that make her qualified to be mayor? I don't know, but it definitely makes her overqualified for the White House.
That's true. Yeah, that's a fact.
Next, we have current Cook County Circuit Court Clerk, Dorothy Brown. Now, while Brown looks like the lady who used to serve me cookies at Vacation Bible School, she is actually under federal investigation for a bribes for jobs scheme. Sis denies involvement, but I say she should own up to it. I mean, because if you want the job of a white male politician in Illinois, you better start acting like a white male politician in Illinois.
Yeah.
The next 2 candidates are Cook County Board President Tony Preckwinkle and Illinois Comptroller Susanna Mendoza. Both are considered front runners by the Washington Post and have nearly 5 decades of political experience between them. But as we learned from the recent election of outsider candidates like Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, America is ready to Marie Kondo its elected offices, and that old political machine is not sparking joy, honey.
I love that show. I love it.
Oh my God. Maggie, can we talk about the husbands on that show?
Yes, what do you want to say?
They're the worst. I mean, that's it. I don't have a joke.
Oh. All right.
The worst. Okay, so, and now for our most interesting candidate. This next sister is a longtime police reformer and former federal prosecutor. If elected, she will become the city's first African-American female and openly gay mayor, Lori Lightfoot. Lightfoot has fashioned herself as the progressive candidate in this election, and the Chicago Reader agrees, calling her the antithesis of Rahm Emanuel. Calm, focused, principled, and independent. Hashtag shade.
Shade. Yeah.
But is she what the people of Chicago are looking for? No. The people are looking for Michelle Obama. And I'm not saying Michelle should get into politics, but I'm just saying, if you had gone to her White House asking for a Big Mac on a silver platter, like any good black mama, she would say, "You got some McDonald's money?" So, since we can't have Michelle, this February, I'm asking the people of Chicago to just remember these solemn words from my Tinder profile. Take a chance on a woman of color. We'll do twice the work for a third of the compensation.
Colette Gregory, everybody. We'll be right back. Thank you, Colette. Wow.
Introducing Mad Reaper's Extreme Death Hot Sauce. It's so hot, it's like Hades' full fist down your throat. Yum. Extreme Death Hot Sauce. You asked for this.
Tonight is about Kentucky Senator and merman cursed by Ursula the Sea Witch, Mitch McConnell. Mitch McConnell has had a few titles in his career: Judge, Majority Whip, and my personal favorite, Cocaine Mitch.
Cocaine Mitch.
That's a real thing people called him. And I'm not going to get into the details right now of why, but I will say that if you're ever at a party and this man offers you cocaine, run, because not only is this a sting operation, you've also found yourself in the Republican Party. His most important title, though, is that of the Senate Majority Leader. For those of you who don't know what a Senate Majority Leader is, he's kind of like the stepdad of the Senate. You didn't get to pick him, but he's here now, and he's making a lot of rules. McConnell began his role as the leader of the Senate Republicans way back in 2007 when he became the Minority Leader. Shortly after, when Obama took office, he began a campaign of what scholars call being kind of a huge dick. Now, there are a lot of things that come to mind when you think Mitch McConnell, like Republican hardliner or being the cover of Jowls magazine. But one of the things he's most known for is trying to hold up President Obama's entire agenda. For example, cloture, aka the process by which the Senate ends a filibuster, had in all of American history only ever been invoked 86 times. But during Obama's presidency, it was needed 82 times. That's almost double. To give you an idea of how much this man loved stonewalling progress under Obama, McConnell once proposed legislation, then panicked when Democrats agreed with it and turned around and filibustered his own proposal on the Senate floor. Which leads me to ask the question, I have to ask, Mitch, is this a fetish for you? Oh my God! Oh God! I really hope you're not here on a date tonight because sex is now off the table. Forever, probably. Things got so bad that in order to get any judges confirmed, then Majority Leader Harry Reid went nuclear and lowered the threshold to end cloture for all non-Supreme Court nominees from 60 to 50. And remember that bit because it's a little thing writers call foreshadowing. When the Republicans took over in 2015 and McConnell became Majority Leader, he pretty much stopped any Obama nominees from being confirmed to the bench, most notably Merrick Garland for the Supreme Court, which is a little thing writers like to call, seriously, fuck this guy. Now, Mitch loved his role as a check on the president until, that is, this guy came around.
To the American citizens we serve.
Just blow your nose. What are you doing? Hanging out with Cocaine Mitch?
Cocaine Mitch.
I guess you could say after Trump was elected, McConnell went from being a check on the president to being a blank check for the president.
Wordplay.
Since taking office, Trump and McConnell have nuked the remaining filibuster rules involving the judiciary in the Senate and have confirmed 83 judicial appointments, including Justices Brett Kavanaugh and the dean of the college Brett Kavanaugh thinks he's partying at. No matter what scandals come out, McConnell has shown that he is willing to do anything to stand by the Republican Party, like an R. Kelly fan in 2019. Also, since taking office, McConnell has helped Trump shut down the government over a racist border wall, attempted to repeal the Affordable Care Act, denied votes on bills to protect special counsel Robert Mueller, advocated for the U.S. to pull out of the Paris Agreement, advocated for an alleged pedophile for Senate and alleged rapist for the Supreme Court, formed the Inquisitorius program, and secretly commissioned his own army to destroy the rebel base. And if those last two sounded weird, it's because that wasn't Mitch McConnell, that was the Emperor Palpatine from Star Wars, but you went along with it because he would do that. I mean, in all honesty, I gotta say, I'm kind of impressed. How does this 76-year-old man have the energy to tear down so many of our institutions? I mean, what could possibly power a man to stay up all day and night getting so much bad stuff done in so little time?
Cocaine Mitch.
It's Cocaine Mitch. We'll be right back.
Tonight's show is brought to you by the patriarchy. What, are you better than all of history? Calm down, hun, it's fine. The patriarchy, because what would we even call the other thing? The ladyarchy? Wait, it's matriarchy? That is so dumb. Don't be dumb, come on.
Welcome back to the news. Tonight, I am joined by Dawn Gray, president of Gray Talent Group. Let's give it up for Dawn. Awesome. Dawn, you are one of the premier talent agents in the Windy City. For anyone who doesn't know, what is it that you do? What does a talent agent do?
Well, we get actors' jobs.
Great.
That's basically what we do.
Great.
And it's all kinds of jobs. We do everything from commercials to voiceovers to film, television, Broadway, Chicago theater, all of the above. And it's kind of our philosophy that we like to keep all of our actors working in all the areas of the business. So the ideal actor for us is someone who kind of wants to do everything.
That's great. So you have a very well-rounded Renaissance man type of person that you like to work with.
Yes.
So what is it that drew you to this as a career?
Well, it's kind of been a long path to get here. I was a child actor.
What?
Yes.
Pause. What did you do as a child actor?
Mostly theater. Mostly
oh my
theater.
gosh, great.
I started acting when I was 5, and my first audition was at the Goodman. I went and they asked 10 little girls how they felt, and they all said fine, and I said excellent, and I got the job. Sadly, it was not that easy after that.
Right,
okay. Great. And then when I was in high school, I was in Fiddler on the Roof for 2 years. I was doing 8 shows a week. I did it over 800 times.
Amazing. At the Goodman?
It was at Candlelight Dinner Playhouse, which does not exist anymore.
Some people, it exists in their
hearts.
hearts.
Knows it.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And then I went to Northwestern. And
Purple Mafia!
Yeah.
Same! That's a thing. Go Cats!
While I was there, I realized that I did not want to be an actor. So I got as far away from the business as I could. Wow. I went into PR and marketing and did a bunch of other things. And then when my son was 5, he said, "Mom, I want to be an actor." And I said, no, it's a terrible life. But he wanted to be the next Jim Carrey from The Mask. And
a 5-year-old wanted to be
yes,
The Mask?
The Mask. He wanted to be Jim Carrey in The Mask.
All right.
So I wound up finding myself waiting in line in the rain for the Tiny Tim auditions for Christmas Carol and all sorts of other things. And then I realized that I had really missed a big part of my life, that I had sort of walked away from this thing that I really, really loved doing. And so it got me really back engaged. And for a long time, I was just his mom, and my daughter started acting as well.
Wow, family business.
Yeah, she did everything he did. She was the biggest tomboy. And she had to be better than him in everything.
Of course.
Which, great. But anyway, So I wound up sort of falling in love with business. At that point in time, I had run a small business for working moms called Moments. I sold it.
Yes. Well, we'll talk about this in a minute.
Okay.
Keep going.
And then I'm like, what should I do now? And I wound up producing a film. It was called Stray Dogs, and it was, there's a couple of stray dogs, so it's probably not that one. But it wound up being probably the worst experience of my life. All I can say is that I found myself desperately in a bar in Stockton, Illinois, putting my last dollars into a lottery machine, hoping that maybe somehow I'd get the rest of the money. But what the good thing about that was that I ultimately wound up realizing, when I did find a distributor for the film. For a while it was on Netflix, it's not anymore. But when I realized that what I should be doing with my life is to be an agent, because I had negotiated all the contracts of the film and had really, so I wound up doing an internship at a talent agency. Wow. And then working there for 7 years, and then 10 years ago I started Great Talent. And I feel like all of the things kind of came together for me so that I was finally wound up doing the thing that I was always meant to be doing. But I don't think I would have found that path had I not done all of those other things.
That's awesome. Yes, woo, indeed. Are your children still actors?
My daughter is.
Wow, okay, and your son went the path of you?
My son actually heads up our LA office of Great Talent.
So he was a child actor who's now an agent?
Yes.
So he followed in his mom's footsteps?
Yeah, really reluctantly. He also went to Northwestern, and he did not want to.
Amazing. Yeah, that's so great. Speaking of LA, I recently watched a documentary about the relationship between an actor and an agent called Entourage.
Yeah.
How is your life? Is your life exactly the same as Entourage?
Oh, pretty close.
Pretty close. Okay. And they take place in LA.
Yeah.
Why Chicago? Why are you here?
Well, I've lived here my whole life, and I love Chicago, and I love Chicago actors, and I really did start this business because I wanted to take them to the next level of their career, and that's what's happened. That's why we wound up having to have an LA office, because we had so many actors. We were booking on jobs in Chicago, moving out to LA and working out there, that we realized we had to have a presence out there. So,
yeah.
But I'm always Chicago, and the way that we market even our LA part of the company is that we are Chicago actors. We are the best of Chicago in LA. So
that's awesome.
I will never be anything but Chicago.
So final question for you here. How do you balance work and life?
You know, actually, I have to say that it's become more challenging because of the internet. And when I started as an agent, we would literally pull headshots out of files and send messengers to send them to casting directors, and then we would get sides for auditions, and we'd have to fax them out. So the good thing about that was that you could really only work when you were in the office. So it was much more of like, it's 10 o'clock at night, I can't be working on this anymore. And now, because of email and everything else, it's a situation where more and more casting directors are expecting you to, they'll send out auditions at 10 o'clock at night for 10 the next morning, and they expect actors to memorize it. And we're just one sort of step above the actors, so we're reacting, and then the actors have to react even more.
That's very sad. I don't like that.
I would like to well, I don't want to go back to the home.
There's a lot of stuff that's good.
I would like the parameters.
Awesome. Dawn Gray from Gray Talent Group, everyone. Let's give it up for Dawn. Thank you so much. Thank you, Dawn.
Netflix. What else are you gonna fucking do? Netflix.
Thank you for watching the news. Here is your asterisk of the week.
That's right. In the meantime, we need to apologize. At the beginning of Ainsley's interview with the professor, a technical error in the control room triggered a graphic of Ruth Bader Ginsburg with a date on it. We don't want to make it seem anything other than that was a mistake, that was an accident. We believe she is still at home recovering from surgery.